Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshul-mritam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Ghanshyam Prabhu couldn't make it again today. So Prabhu asked me to continue on. So we're currently in Antya Leela, chapter 12, titled The Lord's Dealings with Jagannatha Pandit. We're on text number 52. Shri Radha Gopinath ki jai. Okay, Antya Leela, chapter 12, text number 52. The Lord ate lunch in the company of all the devotees, and after washing his hands and mouth, he gave an order to Govinda. As long as Shivananda Sen's wife and children stay in Jagannath Puri, he said, they must be given the remnants of my food. There was a resident of Nadia named Parameshwara, who was a confectioner living near the home of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When the Lord was a boy, he would visit the house of Parameshwara Modaka again and again. The confectioner would supply the Lord milk and sweetmeats, and the Lord would eat them. Parameshwara Modaka had been affectionate toward the Lord since his childhood, and he was one of those who came that year to see the Lord at Jagannath Puri. When he offered his obeisances to the Lord, he said, I am the same Parameshwara. Upon seeing him, the Lord asked him questions with great attention. So, yesterday we were seeing that currently in this chapter, we're seeing or discussing about how the devotees from Bengal, they're making their annual trip to visit Jagannath Puri and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And yesterday we were seeing the pastime of Shivananda Sen, how while the devotees from Bengal, they were traveling to Jagannath Puri, along the way, this famous pastime takes place between Shivananda Sen and Nityananda Prabhu. So after that, now today, the devotees from Bengal, they have arrived in Jagannath Puri. And this year, one of the devotees that is traveling in the yatra from Bengal to Puri, his name is Parameshwara Modaka, whom we're hearing about now. And this devotee, it's mentioned here, that he used to have very sweet, affectionate pastimes or leelas with the Lord when Mahaprabhu was very small, as a young boy. This Parameshwara Modaka, he used to give different sweetmeats and milk products to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Nimai Pandit when he was a little boy in Navadvip. So previously in Adi Leela, Ghanshyam Prabhu was discussing this, how when in Navadvip, Mahaprabhu's pastimes as a young boy, Mahaprabhu would go for a walk in the town or the city, just like we have our own CBD in Sydney, which has all the shops and businesses. So if you want to go shopping, you go to the city, or you go to a town center or some suburb, and all the shops will be there. And you can go to different shops and get different items. So in the same way, 500 years ago in Navadvip, there was a main area where all different devotees would set up different shops and stalls and sell different things. So Mahaprabhu, as a young boy, he would travel to the town center of Navadvip, and he would just go roam around and go to different stores and different shops. So different devotees, they would run different businesses. For example, one devotee, he would run a flower shop, or he'll be a florist. So he'll sell flowers. And Mahaprabhu will walk into this devotee flowers business, and the first thing devotees will be struck is by Mahaprabhu's transcendental beauty. So the florist will just finish up doing his job, arranging all the flowers, doing his business, and then suddenly he would see this, this very beautiful young boy coming in, so effulgent and so beautiful, as if Cupid personified. And the florist will be so much dazzled by Mahaprabhu's beauty the florist will just come running to Mahaprabhu asking, how can I serve you? And Mahaprabhu will just, very innocently, as a young innocent boy, will just ask the florist, that I want a garland. Can you make a nice, beautiful garland for me? But Mahaprabhu will say, but I have no money. I don't have a single cent, but still, I want a garland. Can you make a garland for me? And the florist, he'll be like so much, dazzled, bewildered by Mahaprabhu's beauty. He will say, don't worry, I'll give you a garland. You don't have to pay me anything. You just take the garland. It's for your pleasure. And if you like the garland, in the future, whenever you're ready, you can pay me. So in this way, the florist will give the garland to Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu will be very happy, and Mahaprabhu would give his blessings to a florist. Like this, Mahaprabhu used to go to different businesses or stores in Navadvip Dham. So he would come across, for example, we're hearing about Parameshwar Modaka. So he's probably one of these devotees in Navadvip Dham who used to run a shop. So his business was, he used to sell milk and sweetmeats, different sweets made out of milk. So like this, different devotees would run different things. For example, there's a story given Chaitanya Bhagavat of a tailor whose business was to stitch different cloths and dresses, coats and so on and so forth for devotees. So again, Mahaprabhu would come to his store, and this tailor, just by seeing Mahaprabhu, he would just be completely amazed. Such a beautiful young boy, and he would just be left speechless by Mahaprabhu's beauty. It's given in Caitanya Caritamrta that the main weapon, in every incarnation of the Lord, they have a different weapon they use to annihilate the demons. Like currently we're discussing about Lord Varahadev. So you can see on the picture on the board, Lord Varahadev, he has a Sudarshan Chakra, which is using to kill Hiranyaksha. Previously we had a picture of Lord Varahadev with a club in his hand. So initially he was using the club weapon, now currently he's using the Sudarshan Chakra to finish off Hiranyaksha. So Lord Nrsimhadev, he had his nails, as his weapons. So different avatars of the Lord, they come with different weapons to annihilate the demons. So what is the weapon of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? It seems that he doesn't have any, physical weapons like the other avatars of the Lord. So Krishnaraj Karaj Goswami explains that in this avatar, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's primary weapon is his transcendental beauty. With his transcendental beauty, he annihilates all the demons. He wins over everyone. So it's given in Kali Yuga. There is a demon in every single person's heart. That's how Nityananda Prabhu, he appeals to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That, in Kali Yuga, everyone is a demon. There is a demon inside everyone's heart. So if you kill Jagai and Madai, you have to also kill everyone else on planet Earth. Because there's a small Jagai and Madai in the hearts of everyone. So in this particular avatar of your Lord, my dear Lord, killing is not the way to do. You have to rectify their consciousness. So it's given in CC that the primary weapon of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this avatar is his own transcendental beauty. So in this way, Mahaprabhu as a young boy, he used to travel around the town center. He used to go to different stores. And for example, with this tailor, as soon as he would see Mahaprabhu's beauty, he would get immediately mesmerized, bewildered, and immediately he will come running, what can I do for you? And Mahaprabhu will tell the tailor that, please stitch me, your finest piece of cloth, make a nice dress or a shirt for me, and, present it in front of me. Then the tailor will immediately go inside and get the finest piece of silk or cotton, make something very nice, immediately come and offer it to Mahaprabhu. Then Mahaprabhu would very innocently ask, so how much will this cost me? How much do I owe you for this wonderful piece of cloth that you made for me? And the tailor would just say, no, you don't have to pay anything. You just take it, you wear it. If you like what I made for you, in the future, whenever you're ready, you can pay me. So like this, Mahaprabhu would go to different shops and businesses in town center, and everyone would just offer whatever they had. The florist would offer his flowers, the tailor would offer his dresses, and in this case, Parameshwar Modaka, he ran a sweet shop or a milk store. He would offer, whenever Mahaprabhu came to his shop, he would immediately offer different sweetmeats and products to Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu used to enjoy and have very loving exchanges with devotees like this. So now this devotee, after many years, he is meeting Mahaprabhu again in Jagannath Puri. Parameshwara Modaka had been affectionate toward the Lord since his childhood, and he was one of those who came that year to see the Lord at Jagannath Puri. When he offered his obeisances to the Lord, he said, "I am the same Parameshwara." Upon seeing him, the Lord asked him questions with great affection. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Parameshwara, may you be blessed. It is very good that you have come here." Parameshwara then informed the Lord, "Mukundara Mata has also come." Hearing the name of Mukundara Mata, Lord Chaitanya hesitated, but because of affection for Parameshwara, he did not say anything. In the purport, Prabhupada writes, a sannyasi is restricted from even hearing a woman's name, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conducted himself very strictly in his vow. Parameshwara informed the Lord that his wife, Mukundara Mata, had come with him. He should not have mentioned her, and therefore the Lord hesitated for a moment. But due to his affection for Parameshwara, he did not say anything. So Parameshwara, he informs Mahaprabhu that along with me, my wife, Mukundara Mata, she has also come this year to Bengal to meet you. And when Mahaprabhu hears the name of his wife, Mahaprabhu he hesitates for a bit, he's a bit taken aback, but then he controls himself and pretends as if nothing happens. And in the purport, Prabhupada explains that for a sannyasi, according to the strict vows of sannyasis, they're forbidden even to hear a woman's name. So they have to be very strict. So Mahaprabhu, he wanted to set an ideal example of a sannyasi. So therefore he wouldn't even hear Mataji's name also. But in this case, Mahaprabhu, he overlooks Parameshwara mentioning his wife's name. He understands that he's innocently doing it, so Mahaprabhu doesn't take it so seriously, and he just overlooks it. An intimate relationship sometimes makes a person overstep formal etiquette. Thus, Parameshwara actually pleased the Lord in his heart by his simple and affectionate behavior. In Adi Lila, we came across, I don't know if it's the same Parameshwara, but maybe another Parameshwara. It's given that one of the associates of Nityananda Prabhu, his name was also Parameshwara. And this Parameshwara, he was such an empowered devotee of the Lord that Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami, he says in Adi Lila, that whenever anyone would chant Parameshwara just out loud, then that person is blessed with the benediction to get Krishna Prem. Just by saying that name, Parameshwara. That's how potent this particular associate of Lord Nityananda Prabhu was. So I'm not sure if it's the same Parameshwara we're talking about, but there is one Parameshwara mentioned in Adi Lila who was such an empowered devotee of Lord that whenever anyone would remember this devotee's name, Parameshwara, or say this devotee's name out loud, simply by the remembrance of his name, that person will be guaranteed to get Krishna Prema. So this is the potency of Sadhu Sangha. What to speak of personally in real life associating with a devotee, even by remembering a devotee's name, even by remembering a devotee's name, his qualities, his pastimes, or the services doing, even that is so purifying. Even that can bless us with Krishna Prem. So again, the glories of Sadhu Sangha. Text number 61. All the devotees engaged in the cleansing ceremony of the Gundicha temple and danced in front of the Ratha Yatra chariot, just as they had done in the past. So as usual, when the devotees from Bengal, they come to Jagannath Puri, the first festival they attend is the Gundicha Marjan festival, or the cleansing of the Gundicha temple, which takes place before the Ratha Yatra. Because during Ratha Yatra, Lord Jagannath, he travels from Sri Mandir, which represents Dwarka, to the Gundicha temple, which represents Vrindavan. So before Lord Jagannath comes to Gundicha, the devotees, they have to cleanse the temple of Gundicha to receive the Lord. So, and this whole cleansing festival, it's a very big festival. It's given, I think this mentioned in Madhya Lila. Yeah, the Madhya Lila, the description of the Gundicha festival. And it would be a huge cleaning exercise. Like for us, when we do Maha cleaning every month, not so many devotees are required. For the temple room, maybe 3 devotees are cleaning the temple room, doing detailed cleaning. In the altar, there'll be 3 pujaris cleaning the altar. Then we have the paraphernalia room, there'll be maybe another 2 devotees cleaning the paraphernalia room. So maybe 8 devotees or 10 devotees max will be doing Maha cleaning for our temple. But during this cleansing of the Gundicha temple, it's mentioned that hundreds of devotees were engaged in cleansing. And to give you an idea of how big this cleansing of the temple was, there would be 100 brooms ordered just for the cleaning. So in our temple, we have just, 3-4 brooms. But when it came time to clean the Gundicha temple, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would order the managers of the temple to please supply him with 100 brooms. So 100 brooms were used to clean the temple. So you can imagine, how big the temple was and how much, with how much detail Mahaprabhu was cleaning the temple. So 100 brooms were ordered for the cleaning, Maha cleaning. And along with 100 brooms, hundreds of water pots were also ordered. Clay water pots were ordered. And devotees used to go to the nearby Gundicha temple is Indradumna Sarovar. So Indradumna Sarovar, Gundicha temple, is the area where Indradumna Maharaj, previously he had performed many Aswamedha sacrifices. And it is there where he got darshan of Lord Jagannath. So that's the actual place where the Gundicha temple is, where Indradumna Sarovar is. That's the actual place where Lord Jagannath, he manifests himself. So that's why Gundicha temple is known as the birthplace of Lord Jagannath. That's where Lord Jagannath, he manifested himself. So devotees with more than 100 water pots, they used to go to Indradumna Sarovar, collect water and come back to the temple. So initially for the Maha cleaning, firstly, all the devotees with the 100 broomsticks, they would go all around and start sweeping and collect dust. And the way they would collect dust, different devotees will be assigned different areas. Okay, this devotee will do that corner, this devotee will do that area, this devotee will do this area. Like this, the whole area was delegated and separated amongst the devotees. And every devotee would collect dust particles in his area and would gather it into a big pile. Just like if we'd sweep this temple room, we'd collect all the dust and we'll gather it into one corner. Then using the scoop, we would pick up, the pile of dust and we'd throw it out. So every devotee who would have his own little pile of dust which he has collected. And Mahaprabhu, he would do the same thing. Mahaprabhu would lead from the front. He himself would clean and he himself would collect a big pile of dust. But it's given, the way Mahaprabhu was cleaning, he was cleaning as if, 100 men. That's the intensity which he was cleaning. What 100 devotees could do, Mahaprabhu was doing himself. So 100 different devotees, they would clean and collect dust and they would pile up all their dust into one area. And Mahaprabhu, he would also collect dust and he would have his own separate pile. But Mahaprabhu's pile of dust would be much more than all the other devotees' pile of dust combined together. So that's how intensely Mahaprabhu was cleaning. So first they would remove all the dust, do a first cleaning with the broomsticks, then they would go for a second time and do detailed cleaning and collect finer dust. Then finally after brooming and sweeping is done, then they would bring in the water and then devotees would start splashing water everywhere. And the first place they would splash water is straight up into the ceilings. So they wouldn't spare the ceilings. They would start by first throwing water onto the ceilings. And water would splash onto ceilings and come to the sides and this way come to the ground. So in this way, with hundreds of water pots brought in from Indradumna Sarovar, they would start splashing water here and there in the temple room. Then what will happen to all the water? There used to be an outlet through which devotees used to push all the water out of the temple into the outside area. Like in our temple, for example, when we do Maha cleaning and we splash water, we usually let the water out through that door over there in the corner. And then from that door into the restaurant, from the restaurant, there's another glass door. Through that, we push it out into the car park. So in the same way, devotees used to splash water everywhere. Then through one particular outlet, they used to let all the water out. So in this way, they used to have a big Maha cleaning of the Gundicha temple every year. And Prabhupada in his purports, he explains that the significance of the cleansing of the Gundicha temple, Prabhupada explains that this cleansing of the temple represents us cleaning our hearts of all material desires and all anarthas. So when we're collecting all the dust, removing dirt from the temple, we're actually removing all anarthas and material desires in our heart. And we're making our heart a very clean and nice and tidy place where Krishna can come and reside. So in this way, Prabhupada explains that our hearts are all like a temple, and if we want the Supreme Lord to come and sit in the temple of our hearts, then the temple needs to be nice and clean and tidy. So when we engage in cleaning in the temple, Prabhupada explains, we're actually cleaning the dust from our hearts. We're actually cleaning the altar in our hearts, or the temple in our hearts, so Shri Shri Radha Gopinath can come and reside in our hearts. And a similar mood is also there during the Ratha Yatra. So the Ratha Yatra is when we are taking Lord Jagannath from the Sri Mandir, which represents Dwarka, to Gundicha temple, which represents Vrindavan, which is said to be Lord Jagannath's birthplace. So it's said, Ghanshyam Prabhu, I was hearing his Ratha Yatra class this Saturday, he was giving Vaman Kshetra, Prabhu was explaining that as we're pulling the chariot with the ropes, taking Lord Jagannath to Vrindavan or to the Gundicha temple, we're actually begging the Lord to please come into our hearts. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, Mora Mana Vrindavan. My mind, my heart is actually Vrindavan. So this is the ambition of all Vaishnavas. They want their mind, they want their consciousness to be like Vrindavan. They want to create Vrindavan in their hearts, and they want Shri Shri Radha Gopinath to come reside in their hearts. So Ghanshyam Prabhu is saying that our meditation should be, as we're pulling the chariot of Lord Jagannath, remember the whole purpose of the Ratha Yatra is to take Krishna from Dwarka to Vrindavan. And Vrindavan we're trying to keep in our hearts. So as we're pulling the chart, we're supposed to be begging Lord Jagannath that, may dear Lord Jagannath, you please come and reside in the Vrindavan of my hearts. You please come and sit in the altar of my hearts. So in this way, this should be our mood as we're pulling the chariot of Lord Jagannath. So a similar mood Prabhupada is saying we should have when we're cleaning the temple of the Lord. As we're cleaning the temple of the Lord, we're actually cleaning the temple of our hearts. And we're making our hearts a very nice, clean place for Shri Shri Radha Gopinath to come and reside in. So this was an annual thing the devotees would go through every year in Jagannath Puri. For 4 consecutive months, the devotees observed all the festivals. The wives, such as Malini, extended invitations for lunch to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So as usual, the devotees would stay for 4 full months in Jagannath Puri, and during this time, all the different devotees from Bengal, they would offer different invitations to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to please come and have lunch or prasad at their place. From Bengal, the devotees had brought varieties of Bengali food that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu liked. They also cooked various grains and vegetables in their homes and offered them to the Lord. During the day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu engaged in various activities with his devotees. But at night, he felt great separation from Krishna and used to cry. In this way, the Lord spent the 4 months of the rainy season in various pastimes, and then he ordered the Bengali devotees to return to their homes. All the devotees from Bengal would regularly invite Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for lunch, and the Lord would speak to them in very sweet words. So now we're going to hear the sweet words Mahaprabhu used to say to the Bengali devotees. Okay, so this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu speaking to the Bengali devotees. All of you come to see me every year, the Lord said. To come here and then return must certainly give you great trouble. I would like to forbid you to do this, but I enjoy your company so much that my desire for your association only increases. So Mahaprabhu, the 4 months are up. The devotees have stayed with Mahaprabhu for 4 full months of the Chaturmasya, and now it's time for the Bengali devotees to leave Jagannath Puri and go back to their home in Bengal. So at this moment, Mahaprabhu, he is seeing off the Bengali devotees. And Mahaprabhu, while addressing the Bengali devotees, he is feeling so much gratitude for the devotees to travel all the way from Bengal to Puri to visit him. And Mahaprabhu is, out of great gratitude, he's telling the devotees that, all of you, you have taken so much trouble to come see me in Jagannath Puri. Because it's not just, like a 10-minute drive, going from Bengal to Puri. They have to walk. There was no trains or cars. It's actually a very long journey to walk all the way from Bengal to Jagannath Puri. And many days they have to stay here and there. They would take prasad here and there. So many austerities devotees had to go through to travel from Bengal to Jagannath Puri. And for 4 months, they would be away from their hometown in Bengal. So Mahaprabhu, thinking about this, he was feeling very, grateful that, all of these devotees, they have taken so much pains and troubles to visit me here in Jagannath Puri. And what have I done for them? I'm just sitting here in Jagannath Puri. Everything's easy for me. I'm getting nice prasad. I'm just staying in one place. I'm not doing any austerities. But these devotees, they've given up their houses. They've given up their family and friends back in Bengal. And for 4 months, they have stayed away from their families. And have taken this long journey from Bengal to come to Jagannath Puri just to meet me and give me their association. So in this way, thinking like this, Mahaprabhu, out of his humility, he is feeling great gratitude towards the devotees. How much austerity these devotees have taken just to come and see me. So Mahaprabhu in this way is feeling great gratitude. But then at the same time he is saying, still I can't tell these devotees not to come. Why? Because Mahaprabhu is saying that their association means so much to me. Without their association, I can't maintain my life. Their association gives me life, gives me happiness, and because of the happiness I am feeling from their coming to Jagannath Puri, I can't, pick myself up to tell them, please don't come, please don't come, please don't take this austerities come. So this is the situation Mahaprabhu is feeling. Out of his humility, he is feeling so much gratitude towards the devotees of Bengal for traveling such a long distance to come and meet him. So in the same way we can take it, Sri Sri Radha Gopinath, they also have that same mood. Prabhupada explains that Krishna is very, very grateful. Every single small thing we do for them, Krishna, he takes notice. He never misses it. Even if we move one mat, from here into the corner, Krishna notices that and he keeps track. So just like Mahaprabhu, he's thinking, these Bengali devotees, they have traveled such a long distance, to come and see me. And Mahaprabhu is generally feeling indebted and grateful for them. In the same way, Sri Sri Radha Gopinath, they're also noticing, this particular devotee, he has traveled, from such a far distance just to come take our darshan. In our congregation, we have devotees who come all the way from Penrith, more than an hour's drive. And we have devotees coming from all the way from Liverpool, Campbelltown, Glenfield. Like we have so many devotees, in Vaman Kshetra, Radha Parthasati Ashram, who are all in the Glenfield area. For them, if they take no toll route, it will take them, easily more than an hour 15 minutes, hour and a half, if traffic is there. Otherwise, if they want to come quicker, in 45, 50 minutes, they have to take the toll route. And toll route is also not cheap. To get the toll route from there to the temple, $20 here and then $20 back. So just to make a day trip to the temple, $40 gone just in tolls. So much sacrifice devotees are making, to come to a temple and see Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. So just like Mahaprabhu is feeling, so grateful that, these devotees from Bengal, they've taken up so much austerity to just come and see me. So in the same mood, Sri Sri Radha Gopinath are also talking amongst themselves that, this particular devotee, he has come all the way from Glenfield to see us, and he had to drive through traffic. It took him an hour and a half. And now late at night, he will go home. Just like we have our Anandamoy Prabhu, he's dressing Sri Sri Radha Gopinath today. He has come also from all the way down south in Liverpool. So it will take him more than an hour to drive here. And then he will dress Sri Sri Radha Gopinath. He will leave temple after 9:30. By the time he gets home, it will be 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. By the time he sleeps, takes his dinner, settles, it will be maybe 11, 11:30. Whole day gone. So Sri Sri Radha Gopinath, they notice all this, all these different austerities, troubles we go through for their service, to take darshan of them, to engage in service for them. They notice all this and they feel very, very grateful, as Mahaprabhu is feeling grateful here for the Bengali devotees. So Prabhupada explains that Krishna is the most grateful. Even the smallest service we do, he notices and he never forgets. And he will reciprocate accordingly. Prabhupada, he would many times in his purports write that there is a transcendental competition going on between Krishna and his devotees. A devotee is always trying to serve Krishna and bring Krishna happiness, and Krishna, to reciprocate, is always trying to serve his devotees also. So in this way, Prabhupada explains, there is a transcendental competition between Krishna and his devotees. His devotee is trying to serve Krishna, and Krishna is trying to serve the devotee back. Devotee is again trying to serve Krishna, and then Krishna is again trying to serve the devotee back. So in this way, this transcendental competition goes on forever, Prabhupada explains. So in this coming verses, we'll see the great gratitude the Supreme Lord feels for the service, for the troubles his devotees go through for his service. All of you come to see me every year, the Lord said. To come here and then return must certainly give you great trouble. I would like to forbid you to do this, but I enjoy your company so much that my desire for your association only increases. I ordered Sri Nityananda Prabhu not to leave Bengal, but he has transgressed my order and come to see me. What can I say? Out of his causeless mercy upon me, Advaita Acharya has also come here. I am indebted to him for his affectionate behavior. This debt is impossible for me to liquidate. All my devotees come here just for me, leaving aside their homes and families. They travel by very difficult paths to come here in great hassle. So just like these Mahaprabhus explained that all these devotees, they've given up their friends and family, and in great haste, going through difficult paths, they have come to visit me. In the same way, we have so many devotees in our congregation, going through difficult paths in the city of Sydney, going through traffic, they're coming to a temple. So Shri Shri Radha Gopinath, they're noticing all this, they're keeping track, and no doubt they will shower their blessings upon us. There is no fatigue or trouble for me, for I stay here at Nilachal, Jagannath Puri, and do not move at all. This is the favor of all of you. I am a mendicant and have no money. How can I clear my debt for the favor you have shown me? So out of his humility, Mahaprabhu is saying, as far as I'm concerned, I have no fatigue, I have no trouble. I'm just here stationary in Jagannath Puri. I'm not moving, doing anything. But just look how great my devotees are. For my sake, they're traveling, hundreds of kilometers by foot just to see me. So same way, Shri Shri Radha Gopinath, out of the humility, they would also be speaking to themselves that look at us, we're just here in 180 Falcon Street, North Sydney, we're not moving anywhere, but our devotees are so great, they're traveling from here and there just to come and take our darshan. So Krishna is the most grateful and is the most humble personality we'll ever come across. And now Mahaprabhu is saying, so I have this debt to my devotees, and how can I pay this debt? What can I do to reciprocate? I'm just a sannyasi, I'm just a mendicant, I don't have any money. How can I repay these devotees? So now Mahaprabhu will say, I'm a sannyasi, I'm a mendicant, I have no money, so there's only one way I can repay their gift. Repay the services they've done for me, which is, I have to give my very self to them. So that's what Mahaprabhu is going to say now. I am a mendicant and I have no money. How can I clear my debt for the favor you have shown me? I have only this body, and therefore I surrender it unto you. Now if you wish, you may sell it anywhere you like. It is your property. So now Mahaprabhu is saying to the Bengali devotees that I have nothing in my possession to give to you. I'm a sannyasi, I have no possessions. The only thing I possess is my body. So from this day onwards, my body is yours. My body is your property. Whatever you like to do with my body, you can do. I am just like a dancing puppet in your hands. I am your property. You can sell me here, you can sell me there. Whatever you wish to do with me, you can do. So like this, Mahaprabhu, he puts himself fully under the control of his pure devotees. So this is how affectionate Krishna is to his devotees. How grateful he feels for his devotees' service. So one question we might have, that Mahaprabhu is feeling like this for these Bengali devotees, because these Bengali devotees, they're no ordinary devotees, they're all pure devotees of the Lord. They're all eternal associates of the Lord, coming from Sri Vrindavan Dham. But as far as we ourselves are concerned, we're not like these pure devotees, which are mentioned in Caitanya Caritamrta. So in their case, it's natural for Mahaprabhu to feel very grateful and indebted. But for our case, we're just tiny little jivas, conditioned souls. We have so many faults. we commit so many offenses. So why would Krishna also in that same mood feel very grateful for our services? Our service is very insignificant in comparison to the service, pure service rendered by these eternal associates of Mahaprabhu. So in regard to this, there's many pastimes where we see how it's not that only Krishna, he only sees the services of his pure devotees as very great and big, but even a very insignificant person, conditioned soul like us, Krishna, he also sees that as very great service. I'll share one pastime which demonstrates of Lord Jagannath. So it's given, there's one story recorded like this in Shastra, that one time a drunkard, he came to Jagannath Puri. And being drunk, he wasn't, he was out of consciousness. He didn't know where he was going, what he was doing. He was just drunk and he was just swinging and swaying here and there. Swaying here and there with, alcohol bottle in his hand. His some or other comes to the temple of Lord Jagannath right in front of Lord Jagannath. And Lord Jagannath, he's watching this drunkard. This drunkard is swaying here or there, intoxicated. And then after swaying a bit here and there in intoxication, his consciousness goes down a bit and then he just trips and falls on the ground. And then he just starts lying flat on the ground. Then he gets a bit more out of consciousness and he's just lying there for some time, out of consciousness, being overtaken by intoxication. So Lord Jagannath is watching all this. And what does Lord Jagannath think? What does Lord Jagannath feel? Lord Jagannath, he starts telling Baladev and Subhadramani that just see, such a great devotee of ours has come. Very nicely he danced in front of us. So when this drunkard was swaying in front of Lord Jagannath, he took it that this drunkard was dancing for his pleasure. And Lord Jagannath saying, wow, so nicely he danced for us, such a great devotee. And now look, when the drunkard tripped over and fell down, Lord Jagannath took it that the drunkard was offering dandavats to him. Now look, he's offering full dandavats to us. Such a nice devotee. And then the Shastra explains, this drunkard, he gets liberated and he goes back home, back to Godhead. So this is how merciful Lord Jagannath is. So it's not that Krishna, he only feels grateful for the service of his pure devotees that we're seeing in Caitanya Caritamrta, but Lord Jagannath, he's so kind and merciful. Even the very little insignificant services that we render, Krishna, he also takes it as very big and he also feels very grateful for all the small, even very small, tiny services we do. So Krishna is the most kind, he is the most merciful. And he's keeping track of every single thing we do for him. When all the devotees heard these sweet words of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, their hearts melted and they began to shed incessant tears. So when all the devotees, they hear these sweet words of Mahaprabhu, how Mahaprabhu is saying, I am indebted to you, I am so grateful to you, there's nothing I can do to repay you. From this day onwards, I am your property. Whatever you like, you can do with me. When devotees, they hear these beautiful words from Mahaprabhu, their hearts just get completely melted. And they don't know what to say, what to think. They just start crying incessantly. They start shedding tears and tears. Catching hold of his devotees, the Lord embraced them all and began to cry and cry. Unable to leave, everyone remained there. And 5 to 7 more days thus passed by. So this was supposed to be the day when the Bengali devotees, they were supposed to leave and go back to Bengal. But the strong bonds of attachment between Mahaprabhu and his devotees were so strong that neither could leave each other. So then they extended their stay by another 5 to 7 days. Advaita Prabhu and Lord Nityananda Prabhu submitted these words at the lotus feet of the Lord. The entire world is naturally obligated to you for your transcendental attributes. Yet you bind your devotees again with your sweet words. Under these circumstances, who can go anywhere? So Advaita Acharya, Nityananda Prabhu, they are telling Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that already the whole world is naturally attracted to you because of your wonderful qualities and because of your transcendent beauty. Now on top of that, when you speak such sweet words, we're getting even more attracted to you. We're getting even more attached to you. So when such strong attachment is there, how is it possible for us to go anywhere else? How is it possible for us to leave you and go back to Bengal? So in this way, it's a very painful situation when the devotees of Bengal, they have to leave Jagannath Puri and go back. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu peacefully calmed them all and bade each of them farewell. The Lord specifically advised Nityananda Prabhu, "You should not come here again and again. You will have my association in Bengal." So again, Mahaprabhu gives the same instruction to Nityananda Prabhu, that stop coming to Jagannath Puri to visit me. Don't come here anymore. Just stay in Bengal and preach. This is your service for me. I want you to stay in Bengal and just preach. Stop wasting your time and coming to see me. This is not important. The devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began their journey crying, while the Lord remained morosely at his residence. Similar incident is there in Ramayana. In 9th canto, there's a nice summary of Ramayana given. In that, towards the end, after Lord Ramachandra, he kills Ravana and he comes back to Ayodhya. There is a big celebration. Finally, after so many years, Lord Ramachandra, he is united with his brothers. Now finally all the brothers are together. Otherwise, for so many years, Bharat and Shatrugna, they were in Ayodhya, and Lord Ramachandra and Lakshman, they were together elsewhere. And for so many years they were separate. Now finally they've got united. And one would think, as the story goes, all the four brothers, they would stay in Ayodhya together and enjoy each other's association and live happily ever after. But in Bhagavatam it is mentioned that after the initial celebrations in Ayodhya of Lord Ramachandra being enthroned as king, and the four brothers finally they meet each other after so many years of separation, it's not that all the four brothers they just stayed together and enjoyed each other's association. It's given in Bhagavatam that just a short time after that, Lord Ramachandra immediately he gathers all of his brothers and immediately tells them that don't stay in Ayodhya anymore, go out and conquer different kingdoms. He sends Bharat Maharaj to one direction, he sends Shatrugna to another direction, and he sends Lakshman to another direction. And in the purport, Prabhupada writes that this is the desire of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord, he didn't want his brothers to just stay in Ayodhya and engage in sense gratification, just enjoy his company. Rather, he wanted them to go out, preach, and increase the kingdom. And Prabhupada writes in the same way, Krishna, the Supreme Lord, he doesn't want his devotees to just, sit in the temple and just, take life easily, just enjoy prasadam and do their own thing. But in the same mood as Lord Ramachandra, Krishna, he also wants his devotees to also go out and preach and expand the movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So just like Lord Ramachandra, he's ordering his devotees, okay, now don't just stay in Ayodhya and just enjoy, heavenly life as a prince in the kingdom of Ayodhya. Now, go out and increase the kingdom, conquer other kingdoms and increase our kingdom. So in the same way Prabhupada is writing, that Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they don't want us to just stay in one place, but they want to go out and increase the movement. Yare deko tareko Krishna upades, amar agyan guru hoy tare des. So in the same mood, Mahaprabhu is also instructing Nityananda Prabhu that don't come to Jagannath Puri to visit me, rather you go to Bengal and you just preach, go on traveling Sankirtan and preach and make devotees in Bengal. The devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began their journey crying, while the Lord remained morosely at his residence. The Lord bound everyone by his transcendental mercy. Who can repay his debt for the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the fully independent personality of Godhead and makes everyone dance as he likes. Leaving his company, therefore, all the devotees return to their homes in different parts of the country. As a wooden doll dances to the will of a puppeteer, everything is accomplished by the will of the Lord. Who can understand the characteristics of the Supreme Personality Godhead? The previous year, Jagadananda Pandit, following the Lord's order, had returned to the city of Nadia to see Sachimata. When he arrived, he offered prayers at her lotus feet and then offered her the cloth and prasadam of Lord Jagannath. He offered obeisances to Sachimata in the name of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and informed her of all of the Lord's submissive prayers to her. Jagadananda's coming pleased Mother Sachi very much. As she talked of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she listened day and night. So now we're taken to a different pastime of Jagadananda Pandit. So previously, Mahaprabhu had instructed one of his very close associates in Jagannath Puri, whose name was Jagadananda Pandit. So in Krishna Leela, Jagadananda Pandit is Satyabhama, one of the principal queens of Krishna. So previous year, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Jagadananda Pandit that you please go to Bengal and give your association to my mother, Mother Sachi. She's feeling great separation from me. So many years she hasn't seen me. And you please go to Bengal and spend some time with my mother and talk about my activities, what I've been doing in Puri to my mother. And that way she will get some solace by hearing news about me. So in this way, Mahaprabhu, he sends Jagadananda Pandit. So that's what we're reading about now. So now Jagadananda Pandit, he arrives in Bengal. He offers his dandavats at the lotus feet of Mother Sachi, who's none other than Mother Yasoda. And then he first offers her some gifts and charity. From Jagannath Puri, he offers her Mahaprasadam of Lord Jagannath. And then he sits down with Mother Sachi and then starts offering prayers at the lotus feet of Mother Sachi, and then she starts narrating different news and pastimes of Mahaprabhu. That what your son Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has done, in Jagannath Puri he did like this, he did like this. So in this way he is now narrating all the wonderful pastimes of Mahaprabhu. And when Mother Sachi, she is hearing all the wonderful pastimes of her son Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, she is feeling great bliss and joy, and she is getting great solace. As we know, Krishna is absolute, so there's no difference between Krishna, his holy name, his pastimes, his paraphernalia, so on and so forth. So when we're chanting Hare Krishna, there is no difference, according to Shastra, us personally directly associating with Krishna and by chanting his holy name. Krishna and his holy name are non-different. In the same way, there is no difference between Krishna and his pastimes. So as Mother Sachi is hearing the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, she is personally feeling the presence of Mahaprabhu, as if Mahaprabhu was right there. Because there is no difference between Krishna's pastimes and Krishna himself. Jagadananda Pandit said, "My dear mother, sometimes the Lord comes here and eats all the food you have offered. After eating the food, the Lord says, 'Today my mother has fed me up to my neck.' I go there and eat the food my mother offers, but she cannot understand I am eating it directly. She thinks that this is a dream." Sachimata said, "I wish Nimai would eat all the nice vegetables I cook. That is my desire. Sometimes I think that Nimai has eaten them, but afterwards I think that I was only dreaming." In this way, Jagadananda Pandit and Mother Sachi talked day and night about the happiness of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Jagadananda Pandit, he informs Mother Sachi that you don't know, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he personally comes and he personally eats whatever you cook for him every day. And unfortunately, you think that you're dreaming, but actually it's not a dream. Mahaprabhu, your son, is personally coming to your house every day and accepting your foodstuffs. So every day, Sachimata, she would cook, very nice bhoga for her deities. And when she would cook, she would always think of her baby Nimai, that, these are all the items my Nimai used to like. This is the nice spinach sabji which he used to like. This is this sabji he used to like. If only my Nimai was here, he would have enjoyed this prasadam so nicely. But unfortunately, he's not here. Like this, she would lament to herself, and she would offer the bhoga to her deities. When she would offer the bhoga, she would see that her same son, Nimai, Mahaprabhu, has personally coming and eating all the offerings. So actually, Mahaprabhu was personally coming and eating whatever she was cooking every day. But Mother Sachi, she would think, oh, I'm just hallucinating, or I'm just dreaming. Actually, it's not real. I'm just, I'm getting old. I'm just hallucinating. It's all a dream. So now Jagadananda Pandit is informing Sachimata that actually it's not a dream, it's not a hallucination. It's actually real, really happening. Mahaprabhu, he loves you so much. He's personally coming to your house every day, and he's personally eating every single thing that you're cooking for him every day. In this way, Jagadananda Pandit and Mother Sachi talked day and night about the happiness of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jagadananda Pandit met all the other devotees in Nadia. They were all very happy to have him present. Jagadananda Pandit thereafter went to meet Advaita Acharya, who also was very happy to have him. Vasudev Dutt, and Murari Gupta were so pleased to see Jagadananda Pandit that they kept him at their homes and would not allow him to leave. So not only did he meet Sachimata, but afterwards he also went and visited other devotees in Bengal, like Advaita Acharya, Vasudev Dutt, Murari Gupta, and he also gave them his association. So to Advaita Acharya, Murari Gupta, Vasudev Dutt, and other associates of Mahaprabhu in Bengal, he also narrated the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, that, our dear Mahaprabhu, he has done like this in Puri, he's done like this, he did like this last month. Like this, he is narrating the pastimes of Mahaprabhu to all the associates. Now, Vasudev Dutt, he is a very dear devotee of the Lord. It is given that when Mahaprabhu used to glorify his devotees, it was as if he had 5 mouths. Just like recently we heard about the disappearance of Haridas Thakur, and during the disappearance of Haridas Thakur, Mahaprabhu was glorifying the wonderful qualities of Haridas Thakur. And at that time, it's given, Mahaprabhu was glorifying Haridas Thakur as if he had 5 mouths. So he was just non-stop glorifying, with so much intensity. It was as if Mahaprabhu had 5 mouths. So that was Mahaprabhu's general glorification for devotees. But it's given for Vasudev Dutt. When Mahaprabhu used to glorify Vasudev Dutt, it was as if Mahaprabhu had 1,000 mouths. So that's how much dear Vasudev Dutt was to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In general, Mahaprabhu would glorify someone as if he had 5 mouths. But when he came to Vasudev Dutt, he was so dear to the Lord, he pleased Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so much that Mahaprabhu would glorify Vasudev Dutt as if he had 1,000 mouths. So then who is this Vasudev Dutt? Why is he so special? It's given Vasudev Dutt is none other than Prahlad Maharaj. And he was the personification of compassion. So one time Vasudev Dutt, as the story goes, he begs Mahaprabhu that I can't stand to see the suffering of all the fallen conditioned souls. So my dear Lord, because I don't want all these fallen conditioned souls to suffer, what you do, you please give the karma of all the conditioned souls in the universe. You take the combined karma of all the conditioned souls in the universe and you put it on my head. I will happily suffer all their sins for eternity, I don't mind, but you please liberate every single jiva in this universe. Like this, Vasudev Dutt, out of intense compassion, he prays to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So such an amazing prayer, that you please take the karma of not just 10 people, 20 people, 100 people, but of the unlimited jivas in this universe. Take the combined karma of the unlimited jivas in this universe and you put it on my head. I will happily suffer for their sins for eternity, but you please liberate everyone else. So when Mahaprabhu hears this, he just starts crying. And he embraces Vasudev Dutt, and Mahaprabhu is just left speechless. Vasudev Dutt, how can you say this? You don't have to do like this. If it is your desire that you want this whole universe to be liberated, then Krishna will fulfill this desire. You don't have to take the karma of everyone. There is unlimited universes, they're just like mustard seeds. And if one mustard seed gets gone, one mustard seed, goes here and there, one universe gets liberated, it's not a big deal for Krishna. Like this, Mahaprabhu, he pacifies Vasudev Dutt. So Vasudev Dutt is none other than Prahlad Maharaj. Now, who is Murari Gupta? Murari Gupta is none other than Hanuman from Ramayana. So he is a very special devotee. He was a senior to Mahaprabhu. So he was kind of like Mahaprabhu's uncle, you could say. And he was a doctor by profession. So in CC it's given that he was no ordinary doctor. He would cure both the material disease of his patients, and along with the material disease, he would also cure their spiritual diseases also. So what is the spiritual disease? Spiritual disease is birth, death, old age, and disease. So whenever any persons used to come to him, we have stomach problem, we have head problem, we have the cold, we have flu, he would fix their material problem. He would give them particular medicine for their material disease, but along with that, he would also give them some advice, some shastric knowledge, give them mantras by which their spiritual disease would also be cured of birth, death, old age, and disease. And because he was a doctor, one time Mahaprabhu, as we've been hearing so many times in CC, devotees, they were so affectionate to Mahaprabhu, they would always invite him for lunch and feed him, very opulent prasadam. So one time, one devotee, he fed Mahaprabhu very opulent prasad. And Mahaprabhu, he couldn't digest the prasad. And he had some indigestion. So when you have indigestion problem, you go to a doctor. And Mahaprabhu knows, okay, my dear friend Murari Gupta, he's a very renowned doctor here in Navadvip. I'll go to my friend Murari Gupta. He will surely cure me. So Mahaprabhu, he goes to Murari Gupta, who is Hanuman. And in Chaitanya Leela, Hanuman is a doctor. He comes as Dr. Murari Gupta. So Mahaprabhu presents himself in front of Murari Gupta and tells him, I have indigestion. I took too much prasad yesterday. What is the cure? What can you give to me? And Murari Gupta, he gives a very simple solution. He has a water pot. He takes his water pot, gets a little bit of water and gives it to Mahaprabhu and tells Mahaprabhu, you just drink this little water. This will cure your indigestion. And in the purport of this section, Prabhupada writes that the natural cure for indigestion is just to drink a little water. So whenever, next time you have indigestion after some festival or some big feast, all you have to do is to just drink a little water. And Prabhupada says that is the natural cure for indigestion. So Murari Gupta, he was none other than Hanuman. And he had a diary in which he used to record all the pastimes of Mahaprabhu. So all of Mahaprabhu's pastimes from the age of 0 to 24, before he took sannyas, they were all recorded in Murari Gupta's diary, who is Hanumanji. So that first half of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life was all recorded personally by Murari Gupta. And only because of his notes, we have Chaitanya Bhagavat, in which all the early pastimes of Mahaprabhu are recorded. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have any account of the early pastimes of Mahaprabhu before he took sannyas. So there's a very, very dear devotee of the Lord. I'll finish with one pastime of Hanumanji in relation to Lord Jagannath. Since recently we celebrated Ratha Yatra, I was reading this nice pastime. And in this pastime, it involves Lord Jagannath, Hanumanji, and Sudarshana Chakra. Okay, so recently we had Ratha Yatra, now we're hearing about Hanumanji. And also in Bhagavatam, we're also hearing about Sudarshan Chakra. So currently in Bhagavatam, we're hearing how Sudarshan Chakra has been invoked by Lord Varahadev. And now using Sudarshan Chakra, Lord Varahadev is going to kill Hiranyaksha. So as this pastime goes, one time, Sudarshan Chakra, he got a little bit of pride, thinking that, I am the great weapon of Lord Jagannath. Whenever Lord Jagannath, he needs to kill any demon or do anything, he always calls for me and I get to do the special service for Lord Jagannath. So obviously Sudarshan Chakra, he's a pure eternal devotee of the Lord. There's no question of pride entering into his heart. But just for the sake of pastime, just to teach all of us a lesson, this particular Leela, as the Leela goes, Sudarshan Chakra, once upon a time, he gets a little bit of pride. And one of the names of Lord Jagannath is Garbha Granjan. Garbha means pride, and Garjan means to destroy. So one of the names of Lord Jagannath is Garbha Granjan, which means Lord Jagannath, he can't tolerate pride in his devotees. And whenever he sees a little pride in his devotees, Lord Jagannath will act in a way, will show mercy in a way in which the pride of his devotee will be gone away. So this is one thing. If there's one thing Krishna doesn't like, it is pride in his devotees. And that's why Advaita Acharya, he tells Mahaprabhu that, my dear Lord, indiscriminately give your mercy to anyone and everyone. Don't look who is qualified, who's not qualified. I want you to indiscriminately give your mercy to every single living entity in this universe, except for one who is proud. So that is the only question, that is the only qualification Advaita Acharya he puts forward at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That give your mercy indiscriminately everyone, except for someone who is proud. If they're proud, okay, don't give your mercy, but except for them, give your mercy to everyone else. So this is one quality that Krishna, he really doesn't like. So this pastime, through Sudarshan Chakra, Lord Jagannath is going to teach us. So one time Sudarshan Chakra, he gets a little bit of pride that, I am the great weapon of the Lord. Whenever any demon comes, I am the one sent to kill the demon. I am doing the most confidential service of the Lord. So to remove this pride, one time Lord Jagannath, he asked Sudarshan Chakra to go call Hanumanji. So Sudarshan Chakra, he goes And he calls Hanumanji that Lord Jagannath wants to see you, please come to Jagannath Puri. Then Sudarshan Chakra leaves and Hanuman, he makes his way. And before Hanuman arrives in Jagannath Puri, Sudarshan Chakra, he quickly comes back to Jagannath Puri before Hanuman arrives. And then to play some games with Hanumanji, as Hanumanji is trying to enter the temple, Sudarshan Chakra starts twirling around the entrance of Jagannath's temple, not letting Hanumanji go inside. Hanuman is trying to go through the entrance, but Sudarshan Chakra is right there, twirling around with great speed and force. And Hanuman, he can't get in, Sudarshan Chakra is right there, blocking his way. So now Hanuman, he doesn't know what to do. The Supreme Lord has ordered me to come inside, but Sudarshan is blocking my way. How can I bypass him? So in this instance, what to do when you don't know what to do? You pray to the Supreme Lord. So then Hanuman, he just closes his eyes and he starts remembering his dear Lord Ramachandra. He starts remembering Lord Jagannath. As he's praying to Lord Jagannath, as he's remembering the Supreme Lord, Lord Jagannath, he manifests 6 extra arms into Hanuman's body. So Hanuman is just closing his eyes and praying, my dear Lord, I don't know what to do. And as he's praying, Hanuman notices that 6 extra arms come out of his body. He's praying like this, suddenly he sees 1 arm coming there, another arm coming there, and another 4 arms coming down. And now Hanuman sees he has 8 arms on his body. And he says, okay, thank you, my dear Lord. Then using, it's given, this is in Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj's book, Jagannath book. And then Maharaj explains, as the story goes, using 4 of the arms, Hanumanji, he grabs Sudarshan Chakra, using 4 of the arms. He catches hold of Sudarshan Chakra, and then with the 2 extra arms, he offers pranams to Lord Jagannath. So you can imagine, Hanuman, he has 8 arms. With 2 arms, he is offering pranams. With 4 arms, he's caught hold of Sudarshan Chakra. And then there's still, so that's 6 arms. There's still 2 arms free. So with the last 2 remaining arms, he puts his hands up into the sky, chanting Hari Bol, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath. So like this, capturing Sudarshan Chakra, offering pranams, and with his other 2 arms high up in the sky, saying Jai Jagannath, Hanumanji, he enters and takes darshan of Lord Jagannath. And then Lord Jagannath, he sees Sudarshan Chakra. He's very embarrassed, hiding in the corner. And then Lord Jagannath, he chastises Sudarshan Chakra that you have done a great offense, getting in the way of my pure devotee Hanuman, trying to obstruct his way to come to take my darshan. Because of this offense, I curse you that in this Kali Yuga, when Kali Yuga comes, instead of being manifest, in your chakra form, I curse you that you will become a pillar. And during the whole Kali Yuga, you have to remain as a pillar by my left side. That's why we see in Jagannath Puri, there's Sudarshan Chakra who will be there in the form of a pillar next to Lord Jagannath on Jagannath's left side. So you might wonder, Sudarshan Chakra is supposed to be a disc. How come he's there in the form of a pillar? It's due to the curse or the chastisement of Lord Jagannath. That in Kali Yuga, because of your offense at the lotus feet of Hanumanji, you will be formed into a pillar. And as a pillar, you'll be by my left side. Then Sudarshan Chakra, he begs forgiveness and he asks Lord Jagannath that please reduce the severity of this punishment. This is too much. Can you please forgive me? Sorry, I acted out of sense. Then Lord Jagannath, he says, okay, don't worry. I will give you one benediction, which is, on top of my temple, on the flag on the top of my temple, your picture will be there on my flag. So if you go to Lord Jagannath's temple, you see the flag of Lord Jagannath's temple would have Sudarshan Chakra there. And Lord Jagannath, he gives the blessing, the boon, that you will be there on my flag at the top of my temple, and anyone who takes darshan of you on my flag, he will get the same benefit as taking my personal darshan, as taking my personal audience. So that's why it's given for those devotees who can't enter into the temple. If they just simply take darshan of the flag at the top, take darshan of Sudarshan Chakra at the top on the flag, that is equal to taking Lord Jagannath's darshan from the altar. So devotees like Haridas Thakur, who couldn't go into the temple, they used to take darshan of Lord Jagannath by looking at the flag where Sudarshan Chakra was. So in this way, Lord Jagannath, he pacifies Sudarshan Chakra. So this whole pastime of Hanumanji, Sudarshan Chakra and Lord Jagannath, it's given to teach us the lesson of how Krishna, he can't tolerate pride in his devotees. This is one thing Krishna doesn't like. Okay, with this we'll stop here. Shri Caitanya Caritamrta ki jai, Jai Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, entire Gaur Premanande.